โอเคยังใช่
ครับ Once again good morning everybody good morning Washington good morning Vancouver in Canada welcome to the program of Dhamma from the page Wat Atamayata and Wat Puttapanya Nantaram in Vancouver. So as usual, we come back to the Dhamma program for life, and today we're going to talk about the classification of the Buddha, or what we call it the ninefold of the master teaching, and that is what we call as a Navankassatusas. It's the teaching of the Buddha, how we classify it. The first one, the teaching has been classified into nine composition, 9 classes. The first one is called Suttang or a Sutra, or we also may announce or pronounce as a Sutta. So the Sutta or the Suttang is a collection of the discourses of the Buddha that has been taught to a different place, different person, different time, different period. And it's called the conventional teaching of the Buddha. And that is for the life of the Buddha is 45 years. He has been taught to the different places with a different topic relating to the people and the places that he went to that really fit to the personality of the person that come to the Buddha, that come in contact with the Buddha. So we call that the thread or the discourses. The second class is called Keyang or Keya, which is considered as a discourse that mixed with the verse or the song or the poems that composed by the Buddha himself. Or we call it Katha, especially in the Sakatwak in Samyutta Nikaya. We will go in detail in the category of the Buddhist scripture later on, what is called the basket or the Tripitaka. So this one is considered as a discourses that mix with the verse and the song or the poetry or poem. Then the third one is called the Vayakaranang, or sometimes we call it Vayakal, which is the exposition of the teaching that is appear in the form of Abhidhamma. For example, the extraction of sutta and is a teaching of analysis that not relating to the person, not relating to the places. The teaching has been, the Buddha has extracted only a pure knowledge, and that's why we call it analytical study, and has become a great teaching of the Buddha. We call it Abhidhamma, and that is the Vaya Karanang. It may be considered as a prose exposition of the teaching. In this one, it has no verse or no songs or no poem. It's purely a knowledge, a true knowledge of what the Buddha taught. Then the next one is called Katha. This one is a verse. Especially that appear in the Dhamma is a pure Katha, or even the Thera Katha or Theri Katha. This is the pure words of the Buddha. And if you detect into the Sutta Nibata, you see that they are all the verses, the teaching, the words teaching of the Buddha. The next one is called Uttanang. The Uttanang is the collection of the words that has been spoken from the heart of the Buddha with the supreme state of the happy mind, with the wisdom of the Buddha, and that has been collected as a sutta. There are about 82 sutta that is embedded in Uttanang. So what we can consider the Uttanang is a exclamations teaching, or the words of the uplift that refer to the teaching of the Buddha only. The next one is called Iti Uttakang. These are the numbers of the sutra, the 110 number of the sutra. I think the Buddha used to, it has been spoken with the Buddha, from the Buddha. Sorry about the disruption. Let's come back to the Iti Uttakang or Iti number 110 sutra that has been spoken, taught in the sense of Vuttang, Hetang, Bhagavata. Thus, it's a said discourse of the Buddha. Then the next one is called Chatakang. ในภาษาไทยเรารู้จักกันว่าในชื่อของชาดกกัง The numbers used the story of the Buddhas is about 550. The story of the Buddha. It's called Apanaka Chataka. It's about the birth stories of the Buddha, the previous birth of the Buddha. one of the most popular Shataka is เวสันทาระหรือในภาษาไทยเรารู้จักพระเวสสันดรเวสันทาชาตกะ that have been used to tell the story in that especially in the tradition. There's some festival, some tradition, Buddhist tradition. The next one is called Aputatamang. Aputatamang is about the marvelous idea, the marvelous, the miracles. It's a sutta to marvelous story or the marvelous idea. During the Buddha time that has been transmitted to many people and also mentioned direct Ananta. And the last one is called Vetalang. It all refer to the sutra, but in the form of question and the one who asked the Buddha knowledge satisfied with the answer on asking one of many that come that form the teaching of the Buddha Sutra is, for example, Julaventala Sutra or Mahavetala Sutra or Sammatiti Sutra or even the Sakka Panha Sutra. Please apologize me for the disruption. So now we all know the classification of the Buddha teaching, or we call it ninefold teaching of the Buddha. Now we can go in detail what is the whole Buddhist scripture. And that's what we know in the name, under the name of the Tripitaka, or the three basket. The Pitaka is called basket, or tri is meaning three. So the tri or three Pitaka is the three basket, or the three classification of the teaching of the Buddha. And that is the breakdown of the Navankasattusat, the ninefold teaching. The first one we can scan to the Vinaya, or the Buddhist disciplinaries. According to the Theravada tradition, the Tripitaka, or the Buddhist scripture, was compiled as the first cousin shortly after the Buddha's death. The Vinaya Pitaka is said to have been written by Upali, one of the great noble person, or the monk, or we call it Arya Savaka, names Upali, with little later addition. Most of the different versions are fairly similar. Most scholars consider most of the Vinaya is to be fairly dated from before the separation of the school. So Vinaya Pitaka, or we call it the basket of the disciplines, which in the of the three parts that make up the Tripitaka. The other two that we're going to go in detail. So let's see that the contents of the Vinaya Pitaka. In Pali, the first one we call it Sutta Vipanka, which refer to the Patimokkha and the commentary. That is comprised of the Mahavipanka, which refer to the rules for the monks, or the rules for the monks. And the second class is called Bhikkhuni Vipanka, and that is rule for the female monks and nuns. And then the second classification is called Kanta, or Kantaka. And this is comprised of about 22 chapters on the different topics of the Vinaya. And then the last classification is called Parivala, is analysis of the rules from the different point of view. The examination under the Parivara of the Padma contains now for the people and 311 rules for the Bhikkhuni, the female monk. Vipanka section consists of the commentary on this rule and giving a detailed explanation of all these sections along with the origin stories for each rule. Kantaka section describing about the numerous supplementary rule that could be also consists of the original stories of each discipline, and that's what we call it Buddhist code. The very interesting point is the first year of the Buddha teaching, Sangha, the Buddhist community, together in the harmony with Vinaya, there was no need. All the side is not full as and situation across the Buddha and the lay community felt were inappropriate for the mendicant. So the first rule to be established was the prohibition the origin story tell of an earnest monk whose family was distraught that there was no male hire or so pursued the monk implacable so all his wife and later of whom were ordained eventually become the full enlightened arahant. That is an example of the origin discipline. The Buddha called this teaching Dhamma, which emphasized both the physical teaching of the Buddhism as well as the training in virtue that embody that philosophy. Shortly before his passing, the Buddha clarified to his disciple, to Ananta, saying that now, Ananta, if it is occur to any of you, the teaching has lost his arbitrators. We are then with our teacher, do not view it in that way, Ananta. What they want, the Dhamma and Vinaya I have pointed out and formulated for you, that will be your teacher when I am gone. And this is what appear in Mahaparinibbana Sutta. So these are the first bracket 3 or of Pitaka. And then we can come down to the Sutta Pitaka. This Sutta Pitaka is the collection, a huge collection of the teaching of the Buddha, and that has been taught throughout his 45 years life of the Buddha. He went from place to a different places. A large number of the people that come in contact with the Buddha asking him questions, different kinds of questions from the different belief, different school of belief. Changing question and sometimes called debate between the Buddha and the person that came into contact with the Buddha. Sorry for the technical errors. The signal is very weak today at my place. I'm trying to fix the internet connection as much as I can, but I'm not really sure that it will be getting better or we try to fix the connection that I think is very interrupt because of the weak signal that interfering the connection. We'll see how far we can go anyway. I really apologize for that issue. Anyway, I will keep going, speaking. In case of we got cut off, and then I shall bring this topic to be discussed or to be spoken again next Saturday.